Hello. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome back to another Aviator 268 stream. We are doing a sentimental flight today. We are going from Atlanta to Greensboro, North Carolina. We are celebrating 24 years of Delta Virtual Airlines here on the channel. We're part of two virtual airlines, and the longest one would have been with Delta Virtual, and you can see them at Delta Virtual, deltava.org. If you wish to check them out, we can put that in the chat for you. We're celebrating today with Delta as they are getting ready to celebrate 24 years of existence, one of the longest serving virtual airlines that I am aware of. There are some others who have been out there for a while, but we're celebrating with Delta Virtual today, and we are on the Alpha 3, as we can see here, stand Alpha 3 here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're using our trusted PMDG B737-800 November 399 Delta Alpha, and we are gonna head over. It's a short flight, and we'll get to our pre-departure briefing shortly. But I want to welcome all of you here. George, welcome, guy. Whitson, I'm not sure why you're not getting notifications. Make sure you have the bell turned on. Also, you would see that in the Discord. So if you haven't already, just type !Discord, and you will get the Discord link so you never miss when we send out that notification. All right, so let's jump into the aircraft. It is now 2306. Aircraft is on the ground. As you can see here, we have the fuel truck on the ramp. So we have the aircraft kind of set up. So we're just gonna do a couple of things and then get on their way. We have air traffic control today as well. Hopefully he stays on for a while. Our fuel on board is 14,000 pounds, so we can release that. And we can watch that disappear from the wing right here. We're the only ones on board right now. So we will definitely begin boarding shortly. And we see that cap close right there. Beautiful. And that's done. All right, guys. So let's head down real quick to our FMC. And we already have our route. We're going to Atlanta to Greensboro. So let's go ahead and check out this information on our flight plan. So we do our pre-departure check. So today we are flying to Greensboro, North Carolina, and we're operating flight number 2496 from Atlanta to Greensboro. And the weather at our destination, as we see here, is wind's coming out the northwest at 12 knots, 10 statute miles, feet clouds at 25,000, and temperature is 7 degrees. Altitude is 3011. So beautiful day to fly into Greensboro. And our altitude is coming back to Atlanta, and Atlanta is showing weather 310 at 8, 10 statute miles, feet clouds 25,000, temperature 8. Altitude is now 3017. I think that would have just changed. We had information Oscar, so I'll have to double check online if that would have changed now. JF, yes, it's a game, but we don't like to talk about it as a game. It's more of a simulator because real pilots would actually use this for their recurrent training. All right, so our flight time today is going to be about 1 hour, 54 minutes as a matter of fact, and we're cruising at flight level 310, and we have 146 passengers on board. We have a pretty good aircraft, pretty good airframe to work with today, so we don't have any minimum equipment list that we have to talk about. We are expected to use runway 26 left for our departure, and so we're at stand Alpha 3. We'll push back, and we can look at it on this one. Alpha 3 will push back onto the west line, and we'll taxi northbound to 2 north. Take Foxtrot, join Echo, Foxtrot to Gulf, and then join Echo, and then we'll take Echo all the way down to runway 26 left. We don't have any threats that we can talk about right now. Before that, standard instrument departure today is going to be the Plumber 2. Let's see if we can get that up here. Right, so we will be using the plumber 3 departure, plumber transition, Berg, then the tracks over to Greensboro. No current threats, weather is good, and there's no congested airspace, and we don't have any no temps that we have to think about. Coming off of our ATIS, information pop is now current, and wind is 310 at 8, 10 statute miles as we mentioned before, and altitude is 3017. So I'm just going to record that real quick. 3017, and the winds is 310 at 8. Temperature is now dropped to 2 degrees, so its temperature is 8 degrees, and we're still departing from runway 26 left. All right, for our emergency procedures, in the event of any engine failure before V1, we'll call abort and we'll stop the aircraft. Once we pass V1, we will continue to take off and handle the situation airborne. If there aren't any questions based on that, then we have our pre-departure briefing is complete. All right, so let's get to our FMC now. We will go into our departure, runway 26 to left for departure today off the north side. And we're using the plumber 3, Berg transition, and arrival into Greensboro is using the tracks for Berg transition, and we're going to do ILS runway 23 left. Check out the route page, legs page, and we just check this against the we have the, instead of flipping to the other screen, we'll just use the chart here. Airport is 10-9. SID is going to be the plumber 3. And in the event we have to come back around, it is going to be 27 left. Where is it? 27 left. 27, 27, 27. Here we go. 27 left. And then our arrival is a tracks for ILS runway 23 left. And of course, you get the airport up and also our gates. Good. So that's all in one. All right. So for our SID plumber 3, so we take off MPass, Zealand, Smog, Dylan, plumber, and then en route. So let's see if we have that here. MPass, Zealand, Smog, Dylan, then plumber. Then we have Tens, Nuats, Berg, Murky. Let's check the star. So we're coming from Berg, Murky, Chaos, Tracks, Dems, and we'll take that to Earl. Nope. Let's see, Earl, and then over to Guilford, since we're using runway 23 left. So let's double check that. Dems, Killville, Guilford, and then vectors to that. All right, good. So that's in there. We can activate that and execute. Double check that with our screen. Oops. There we go. So we step through our departure and we don't have any discontinuities and we're good to go. Great. So that's set up. We can go ahead now and call for our boarding.
Boarding requested.
Let me also get this set up for our Volanta so you can see where we're going, and that should be set now. Good. So Atlanta GSO. All right, great. So we're doing well. We're doing well.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Welcome to ACARS.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
All right, great. So that's set up. We have that going. Our ACAR system is set for now. Cool. So that's that. And let's go ahead and continue setting up our FMC. All right, so we have 2 passengers in first class. I think I need to switch that. We can't just have 2 people up there. So let's go. We'll take 8. So we got to take 8 from 144. Actually, no, that would be 6, wouldn't it? Let's see. So we'll have 8 in first, and it will be 138 in coach. Cool. All right, so we'll go to route perf init, and we're going up to flight level 310, and our cost index is 13. Our reserves based on our flight plan tells us that we will have 2.2 plus our taxi, which is 0.5, so that will be 2.7. So 2.7, and our zero fuel weight on the right side here is a 128.7, 128.7, and we execute that. 142.7, 142.7. Great. Legs page, route data, route request. So let's check and see. We should have 9.2. Let's see what happens when we bring in the let's see what the winds share with us. So 9.2 is what we should land with, but with the loaded winds, let's see if that changes. 9.5. All right, great. Load the forecasted descent winds. Execute. So 9.7 is what we should land with, and by 8:04 is when we should land based on our departure, if we were to depart now. So we'll check this in terms of our arrival. Once we take off, we'll be able to give you a more accurate arrival time. All right, cool. So let's do our departure briefing, but before we do that, let's get the APU running. So we turn on the forward pump, and we will turn on the APU. And there's our plane on the outside getting a nicely loaded. Nice sunset in the background. This is what you call the golden hour. And that is a beautiful picture right there. The APU is starting up, so we're hearing that right now, and this is the Boris sounds that we just installed for D737. So we're getting to hear this on here. I'm trying to figure out how we can get the sounds a little bit louder. I'm not sure. I remember back in P3D days, we were able to do that from the FMC, but I'm not entirely sure right now, and there should be an update coming shortly. However, we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's jump back in the aircraft now, and we're gonna go ahead and get that set up. The APU is now running, so we can, let's see how many passengers we have on board. We have 40. Okay, we can leave that for now. We'll come back and check that in a while. All right, let's go to our performance tool. We're taking off a runway 26 left today, and our runway length of 9,993. Import from the aircraft, we have a takeoff weight of 142.7, CG of 26, and the aircraft air conditioning config is on, and we will leave the there's no rain around, so we won't use the anti-ice. So anti-ice is off. We're going to leave flap config as optimum and rating optimum. Weather 310 at 8 outside, and it's 3.17. We need to put that up here, 3.17, and that's set. And the way to verify that it is set properly, this is supposed to be 10:24 or 10:30. And so the airport the airport elevation is, and that we see that on the chart, is 1026, and so it's spot on. So that's how we double check that. All right, so now we calculate and we see we can take off using flaps 5. We use takeoff 1, which is going to give us an N1 of 90.2. Select temperature is 38. Trim of 4.7, and let's write these down. It is 139, 140, and 145. And so we can go to our FMC route takeoff, and we're using flaps 5. Wind 310 at 8. Can go here. And 0, and we go to our N1 limit, take off 1, 38 degrees, 91.1, and so our CG is 26, trim of 4.75, and we have 140, 139 as per our computer, 140, and then 145. So this kind of gives it a little real feel, because these numbers that are here are only for reference. When we do our takeoff performance and we have these numbers, we prefer to use these numbers here rather than what's suggested on the FMC. They should be pretty close, so it's not really a big of a deal. All right, so our passengers are boarding, and we have our APU on. We're not using it, we're still on ground power. So we're gonna run now we have 146, we have 82 passengers on board at the moment. So we're gonna do our departure briefing. So we're departing off of runway 26 left, and the city is going to be the Plumber 3. So let's double check this departure. On the Plumber 3, we will take off from the 26 left, and that calls for a initial climb of 10,000 feet. That's our top altitude. And we climb on a heading 270 to intercept our course 299 to MPass, then on the depicted route to Plumber, maintain 250 to Zealand, and then we make a right on the heading 094 to Smong, 083 to Dillon, then 072 to Plumber, and then direct to Tents and Want, and then to Berg. Our V speeds today will be 139, V1 is 13932, VR is 140, and V2 is 145. Our initial climb speed is going to be 148, and our transition altitude is 18,000 within the United States. Current weather indicates that we have clear skies, field clouds at 25,000 feet. And our visibility is 10 knots, 10 statute miles. And for the undesired, I should say, contingency plans that we'll have in the event of any engine failure or abnormality, before V1 we will come to a complete stop on the runway. Anything after V1 we will maintain runway heading and follow the published emergency departure procedure, which will fly runway heading for 275 up to 3,000 feet. We will assess the situation. If there are any issues, we will try to solve it airborne. We'll alert the air traffic controller. Since we have air traffic on control, we had ATC online, not sure where they disappeared to, but we'll make our announcements on 19.1 and then make a right base. We make a right base for a right base, then a right crosswind, then we'll come a right downwind and land on runway 27 right, which is our longest running. So we have that already in our charts in the event that we have to come back. All right, this is 27 left. We need to get 27 right, which is the longer runway. If I can find the chart, there we go. Cool. So we will contact our departure. Should have been on 133.47. However, departure right now is looking like 119. 90.1, and we already have that in our box. So we will set that, and we will now set our squawk code of 5144. 5144. Good, and we're set. All right, guys, so we are ready to go. We're just waiting on our passengers. We have, let's see, waiting for that to flash back. We have 125 of 146, so we can go ahead and now use our APU, and we can remove the ground air conditioning unit, and we can watch that disappear. I wonder if anybody's flying with us today. Not seeing anybody yet online. Let's see. George, are you flying tonight? Might just be us going up to Greensboro. That's all right. It's showing that there's air traffic control, but I don't see that frequency on the list. That's crazy. There goes the low pressure. Cool, we are good to go. Let's get some more lighting in the place. No problem, no problem, no problem. All right, so we set up our MCP. Our VSP is 145, heading to 75, 10,000. So that's in and good. We have our AT is armed. Guys, give me just 1 minute. Let me go get some checklists. All right, so our before start checklist: flight at door, exterior inspections have been completed, pre-flight procedures have been completed, IRR, S mode selectors are nav, and nav and display switches are normal and auto, emergency lights armed, passenger signs are on, window heat switches are on, the pressurizing panel is set. And the motor control panel is also set. Speed 145, heading 270, altitude 10,000. Altimeter 3017 set and cross-checked. Flight and navigation instruments are checked. Warning announcement panel is checked. Anti-skid not installed. And landing gear is down 3 green. GPWS has been checked. Speed brake lever is down detent. Thrust levers are closed. Stabilizer trim cutout switches are normal. Fire warning has been checked. Radios 119.1. Since I'm not seeing a controller online. It should have been 133 point, let's see, 133.47. Let me just run a check on that. 133, okay, all right, so everything just went black off of the vPilot, vPilot, so yeah, that's good. 122.8 is what we'll have set here. So we are good to go on the radios. They are set. Let's see where we are. So radio transponder and radar are checked and set. Rudder and aileron free and 0. Parking brake is set. Flight attendant briefing is complete. Departure briefing is complete. Logbook is checked. Fuel is 14 and 14 on board. Let's see, our passengers seem to be on board, so that is good. So let's just double check our FMC. Everything is set. So we go to our takeoff page on this side and the fuel page on that side. Do you normally set up the landing altitude before departure or when you're closer? I would normally do it with PMDG. It's normally, I think it's auto. Is either in this one or the iFly? I'm not sure. I know for a fact the 777 is auto. So I didn't even notice until you just said that a while ago, Gel. So we can set that up once we get closer, because again, that will be part of the arrival procedure anyways. So we set up when we get closer to landing. All right, so FMS and ACARS info has been entered. The stabilizer trim, let's set that now. Electrical pump B is now active and it's 4.75, so that's a little bit closer to 5, and that will be set. Good. Airspeed and N1 bugs. Our airspeed is 139, V1 is 139, VR 140, V2 145, and that is set and checked. So our before start checklist is complete. So we're good to go. All right, so we are good to go, guys. So I'm confused at what's going on here on the vPilot. It seems that there's air traffic control online, so let's just test it. 133.47. because I don't want to get in trouble and get yelled at. Let's see. Yeah, the iFly does it automatically. Radio check, radio check. Okay, I'm not seeing. He's showing up online on the 132.97. Let's see. 132.97. There we go. Let's run a check. Ah, so he's online, but it's just not showing up in the VChat. Okay, great. All right, so that's good. So he's on. All right, so we are ready to go. So we can go ahead now and release the ground power. Make sure that we don't want to have an issue where we lose everything. So we're good, and we can turn on the anti-collision lights and remove the chocks. And let's go to our electronic flight bag so we can see where we're at. Cool. So we're at A3. We'll push back facing north, and then we taxi to 2 north and then call the controller. So let's call GSX and let them know we're ready to go. So let's face north.
Release parking brakes, please.
All right. Okay. Here we go. So parking brakes is released. Start the timer. We're clear right and we're clear left. And here we go.
Air Canada 1456 is showing 2000.
There goes our wing walker.
Up to flight level 330, direct K-Pass.
And we'll now start our engines. Alright, push back, didn't complete that checklist. Doors are closed, hydraulic panel is set, fuel panel is set, flight door closed and locked. Anti-lock collision is on, air conditioning panel is set. And it's now set for engine start, starting engine 2, then 1. Start engine number 2. So wait N2 to get to 25 and then we will go ahead and introduce the fuel. 25, there we go. Engine 2 is turning. Parking brake is set. It's a pretty nice shot right there. These simulators are looking so real. It's not even funny. I'm hoping that 2024 would be. Open 2024 will be something that we can get to as soon as possible, but I don't think that's going to happen before the end of second quarter. Start engine number 1. Technically, the wing walker would not be going behind the wing. However, this is GSX. I guess I can also make that, you know, 25. There we go. So pins away on the left hand side, and then we have engine start number 1. And we say goodbye to our lovely RAM agent right here. Yeah, I don't doubt it, Jill. I just wish that they'd, well, let me put it this way. I think it is kind of unfair of me, if I am going to be honest, if I'm just gonna bash 2024. I remember when 2020 just came out and they had all those teething issues. I guess now, because everything is just going so well in 2020 for the most part, that it's just not as, I don't really feel the need to go over to 2024 just yet, and especially because the aircraft that we really want are coming to 2020. I'm not in a rush to do that, but I can't be unfair to the whole idea that it does take patience. It does take patience. So 2024 had the same, 2020, sorry, had the same issues. So we'll just definitely have to wait on that to become more stable. All right, so after start checklist, generators are on, probe heat is on, anti-ice is not required today. Air conditioning panel is set. Brakes are set to RTO. And that is all set. So after start checklist is complete, let's do our flight controls check. Rudder left, rudder right, left and right, fully back and fully forward. And just for our folks who want to see outside, rudder left, rudder right, fully left and fully right, elevators up and down. So there is a way for me to see all of this. Tell me if the air traffic control sound is too loud over me talking, just let me know and I can adjust that. I try to make sure that I don't change the settings, so let me know if you're hearing them more than you're hearing me. But there's a way I can check the systems right here. However, when I listen to a lot of the pilots, they're telling me that they don't necessarily look at these indicators. They're there or they're ordered if it is something that comes with the, you know, based on airline preference. But it's just making sure that these controls are free and clear. And once that is the case, then they're good to go. All right, so flaps 5. And we can good, so flaps are set.
290.
Those are kind of they're a bit quiet, but they could be a bit better, you know. But we'll see what happens to the update.
Maintaining 3000.
All right, so we are ready to go. The taxi checklist, flaps 5 and 5 green lights. Flight controls are checked. Taxi checklist is complete. So let's go ahead now and taxi to the north side of the ramp, and then we'll call the tower.
November 4th with the stop details, the heading you gave me before.
I'm gonna pause the music so we can just focus on hearing the.
040 will report November 4th with the stop.
Multiplied, 75 is the airport side. Final at depot, cleared visual
Clear silence to 3 left, 3,100 feet or above at Brand, Delta 4336.
This is 3000, yes, we had the field design November 4th.
So for our taxi, we're expecting him to tell us the Foxtrot Golf Echo. He could also just give us Echo so we see what happened. The only issue that I have with the Radeon, it's not really an issue, but the drawback, let's use the word drawback with the Radeon cards, is that you're not going to find a lot of settings for it on the internet. So you find a bunch of settings for the NVIDIA cards, but when I try to do the tweaks, it's literally just me doing trial and error. There's some names that are close that you can understand, so you try and make, you know, tweak those settings, but you hardly will find anything about the Radeon cards in terms of settings. But it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool. I've been able to run the A300 pretty nice. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, so he's close. Oh, we have tower online. Great. So we'll go here. He said he's closing, so we go to 19.2. So, all right, let's go ahead and call the tower. Tower, good evening. Delta 2496 on north side, ramp 2. Last information we had was Papa requesting taxi to runway 26 left. Yeah, so Papa is still coming. Sorry, you broke up with the last part. Taxi via what, sir? Roger, Foxtrot to 26 left, 2496. Great, so as you said, Foxtrot, then join Echo via Gulf, and we taxi all the way down.
Atlanta Tower, good evening, from your side, principal NH3 via the Fox Visual 4 summit to simulator.
Don't need all this light.
Runway 27 left and...
Yeah, the Radeon cards, when I did some research, they're a lot cheaper. You're really just paying for the name when you go to the NVIDIAs, but you really get a bang for your money when you use a Radeon card. It's been running fine for me. How about running the A380? Do you get for it? No, I don't. The A380 actually runs pretty good. As a matter of fact, I'm using the developer version whenever I fly the A380, and it's pretty good. I had the 8K, but I opted for the 4K for the A380. I don't see a real difference in terms of the quality, to be very honest. Who's that? He just came out of nowhere. Roger, give way to the Airbus 2496. Alright, so Delta 36, he's coming from DC. So I guess he's going into Foxtrot 4. Let's see who's going to turn there. Okay, so I'm wondering where he is going. He's probably going to the Echo gates because he hasn't made a turn as yet. Oh, there he goes. He turned onto Foxtrot 5. So we just slow down the taxi just a bit to give him clearance. And then we have this other Delta over here. Once we get airborne, we'll talk a little bit more about the happenings that will be, well, what's happening in the sim world, especially for the next week or so, the next 2 or 3 weeks as well. It's going to be really exciting when it comes to the releases that are happening right now. I'm not too big on the sceneries, so I won't talk too much on those, but there's a sale going on right now in anticipation for the A350. So if you're interested in that, then you will check out Anybills, their website, and they'll definitely give you some, get some information on what they're having right now in terms of a sale. So it's clear to the left.
Taxi all the way down, Delta 509.
It's like 500, but yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, Echo 13 for departure for Delta 509.
You just tell you can't align around a bit more. I can see that Delta raised the point to get it right.
Project 6, right?
Delta, well, with the acquisition of should I say there, who did Delta kind of has, okay, so Tango Alpha Bravo, Tango up until a certain point. So yeah, Tango 1 up to Tango 11, I think, no, Tango 9, right, if my memory serves correctly. Tango 1 to Tango 9 is all Delta, then concourse A and B all Delta, and my best friend will cuss me out if I don't get this correct because we go through Atlanta too many times to not know. Delta, the Charlie gates are for Southwest now, since they would have bought out Airtran a few years ago. So Charlie is now Delta and Southwest. The Delta gates are also Southwest, JetBlue, Frontier. Then Echo is international RAM, where you have Delta and other airlines, but it's mostly Delta really. And then you have the Foxtrot gates, which is where you will get some of those other things like Ethiopia, KLM, and those other airlines. So it's pretty simple, really. So just know that if American and United uses the other Tango gates on the north side of the ramp. So that's pretty much what it is. I hope Justin is not online, because if he is, he's probably gonna cuss me out, shaking his head. All right, we're coming up to runway 26 left. So before takeoff, stabilizer trips is set to 4.7. Flaps 5, green light. Auto throttle is armed. Windows closed and locked. Recall is checked. And our runway is 26 left, departing off of the Plumber 3. And our takeoff briefing, just to review, we'll take off runway 26 left, and it'll be for V1. If you have any entity, we call stop on the runway. Beyond V1, we will continue our climb and depart, hold at 3000, then we'll advise ATC of our intentions, come back around and land on the longest runway, depending on the concern, on 27 right, which we have the information already set there, our approach plate. If not, we can make 26 not even wait 2496. All right, so any questions? No questions. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff. That should have been said earlier. All right, so let's get our
approaching 26 left.
And we're entering, and we have that
On
aircraft out there. And those are those wheel scraping sounds that Boris would have added. Sounds pretty good. They're a bit loud. I don't think it's supposed to be that loud, but it's alright. Alright, then we have that Airbus on the upwind. Let's see where he's going. 509 is going to Kennedy in the 739. Crystal Harper, welcome to the stream, man. Wow. Lord have mercy. Forgive me. Wow. Wow. My bad. Crystal, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Crystal. Interrogators are the others. Yeah. RNAV impasse 26 left, clear takeoff 2496. I hope I'm so sorry. That is not. I'm so accustomed to talking to the fellas. My apologies, Crystal. My apologies. Do not get me. Don't cuss me out at all. All right, so we are clear for takeoff. Start the timer. Advance to 50% and Toga. And yes, those are some better takeoff sounds because you actually hear that on actual takeoff. Ooh, Boris did an excellent job. All right, make sure center line is kept. Good, 100 knots. V1, rotate.
Got the 2005
Gear up.
Atlanta Tower, runway 27 left, good to land.
Gears up. Passing
Apex 750 heavy, RNF stand pass, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff.
2496 passing 2.6.
Yeah, I didn't understand a single word you just said.
2496 passing 3.1.
2496, departures offline, change your advisory frequency approved.
Thanks for your ATC. Have a good night. See you.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are airborne. Let's get autopilot command A on. And we have our VNAV and the LNAV is activated. And let's retract all the flaps. So we can go 122.8. Flaps up. And we go RNAV to MPass. Brandon, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right, flaps up and landing gear off. After takeoff checks, flaps up, no lights, landing gear up and off. Anti-ice, not required. Engine bleeds are on an auto. Pressurizing panel is checked. Engine start switches are uncontinuous. We'll clear that once passing 10,000 feet. And APU is off after takeoff checklist is complete. All right, so go ahead now and climb up to flight level 310 since we don't have ATC. So we will climb flight level 310. And let's take a look on our departure. Just look at how that looks. Literally what you see here is what you would see in the real world. It looks really, really nice. Nice little twilight zone right there. Go ahead of the engines. For the life of me, I'm trying to get my landing gear in off position. What is your command for that? It's not a command that I use. I actually use the mouse and just switch it up or off. So I will use the mouse command and roll it, or you can actually left click. So that's what actually is the click. The iFly, oops, past 10,000 feet, landing lights are off, start switches are off, and wing lights are off, and we will ding the cabin, let them know we're past 10,000 feet. Right, so the iFly is a lot of this mouse wheel turning thing, but here you notice the arrows changing up and down, JL. So you simply just left click and that will take it to the off position. It's a nice night shot with a ladder in the background right there. Ooh, look at that. Let's just take a moment to also reflect on the, I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm not superstitious. I'm really not, but I understand that things do happen, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. So if there's anyone who is not religious, that's okay. I'm not saying that you have to be, but I am alarmed at what's going on in the world right now where aviation is concerned. The industry's just been being hit, and I think it's something that happens. It's just life being a cycle. I pray that none of us who are on an aircraft would have to experience those things, but the airline industry has been taking quite a hit when it comes to aircraft incidences. I don't want to call it crashes because it's not just like, because it's not deadly crashes, but it's just incidences that happen even on landing, takeoff. The most critical part of a flight, really, the critical parts of the flight is takeoff and landing. People want to know why is it this most critical. There's so many things that could happen at those points. When you're taking off, so many things are happening. You could get an engine failure. One of the things that really happens a lot in the departure phase around the airports is a flock of birds. Just imagine you're trying to take off, and the whole idea of the Sullenberg, Captain Sully out of LaGuardia, taking off normal, and an aircraft goes across a flock of birds, and that just gets ingested into the engine, and your engines are gone, you know. But we really want to, our heart really goes out for those persons who are hurting right now. The most recent one would have been that on the Potomac River, and then another regional jet, this time it's Delta, not American, in Toronto Pearson, overturning. That is an interesting sight, and we really hope that those who were injured that will recover pretty quickly. We're grateful that no one has been, no lives have been claimed. 18,000 feet, just waiting for the amber light to flash. There we go. Standard set 3 times. But it's really been an interesting start to 2025. That's crazy. But we do give thanks for the small mercies, though. No one right now, as they would have shared, would have lost their lives for that incident in Toronto Pearson. So we pray that would be the sentiments going forward, that even those who were injured, that they will recover from the injury. So we pray for them and their families. Climb checklist, altimeters standard and cross check. Climb checklist is complete. All right, let's check our arrival time. So the arrival time right now is 41 after the hour. It is now 8 o'clock, so in 41 minutes we should arrive in Greensboro. We should be top of climb in approximately 5 minutes, and that is 31,000 feet. Pretty short flight, and at 31,000 feet we should zip across. Let's see if I can get this back to where we can see it. There we go. So we are heading towards Dillon, then to Plummer, and it looks like a smooth flight. Let's get some music back on here. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight, this is your captain speaking. We are climbing up to flight level 310, 31,000 feet. The CBS sign will come off for just a quick minute. So once the CBS sign goes off, you'll be able to move around to the bathroom. It's a pretty short flight. We have approximately 40 minutes left in the flight. So once the CBS sign goes out, you'll move quickly to the restroom, and then we will turn it back on for our descent into Greensboro. Once again, thank you for choosing Delta on this leg to Greensboro as we celebrate 24 years on the Delta Virtual Airlines. We'll talk to you a little bit more in the flight and let you know what the weather is like going into Greensboro. Till then, enjoy the flight. Cool. So with it being a night flight, there's not really much to see on the outside. So I'll just definitely give you a little rundown of what's going on right now in the aviation community, or in the simulator community. So for those of you who have been following, we have the A350 that's coming out shortly. As a matter of fact, it comes out between next week. Where's my calendar? It comes out between the 20, wow, I'm still in January. That's not cool. All right, February. So between the 24th and the 28th, so between Monday and Friday of next week is when the A350 drops. And once that drops, you know it's going to be crazy flying for a lot of people. At that point, we'll have one of the most advanced long-haul aircraft that you can ever imagine. And for those of you who are on FS 2024, I believe the 2024 system for the A350 is going to be superb, regardless of the challenges that people are having with the simulator right now. That's because Inibills would have been working closely with Asobo. So they know the ins and outs. They created their aircraft based on that engine. So those persons who have 2024, once you get your hands on the A350, you're going to be in for a treat. If you haven't already watched the streams, the showcase, there are 2 of them. You would learn exactly what's happening with the aircraft in terms of what to expect. That airplane is going to be a beast. If you want to get ahead of the game, I suggest that you start using the fly-by-wire A380. I remember saying on a couple of streams before that, you know, the A380 is the prototype for the A350. A lot of the things that you would find on the A380 is what you find on the A350. The McDo, what we call the FMC or the MCDU, that is really an MFD, a multifunctional display, really, because it's you can do so much with the displays that they're so much bigger than what's going on here. They're huge screens, and you can literally do so much with that. According to the lead developer, he was saying that it's really a paperless cockpit where most of the things are just done via the screen. It comes hoppy ready, so those of us that would do long hauls and we want to fly in the areas that utilize hoppy, we can definitely do that. It will be fully functional on day 1. There are certain situations that you can trigger in the simulator outside of failures. You can trigger a situation such as a bird strike, a dual engine failure, different things that they plan on expanding as well. So those are things that you will be able to. They also do spoofing and GPS jamming, things that would happen over places like Iraq and Iran and Ukraine and so on. They simulate all those different things. It also comes with its own passenger pack or the, why am I forgetting what they're called? The crew package. So you will hear the different sounds like the safety and all those kind of things. It's coming fully loaded. Also, you can do the interaction. So like the iFly, where you're able to interact with the aircraft, the lights and so on, switching that too can happen. You'd also be able to do other things from the CDU, not the CDU, the electronic flight bag. Those of you on 2024, you'll be able to use the leader chart, so you wouldn't necessarily have to need or have the need for a Navigraph subscription, but that's only for 2024 users. If you're on 2020, you definitely have to get Navigraph in order to use the charts. So it's really an exciting period for simulating right now, and I am still waiting for the 757. It's unfortunate that that's not going to be ready for this quarter. The creators would have said that the first quarter is not going to be the release time. Hopefully that it's not going to take much longer. We're hoping for a Q2 release. An early Q2 release is what we're hoping for. So it's not that I'm saying that it's going to happen in early Q2, but we're hoping for an early Q2 release. All right, so we have 101 nautical miles from top of descent. So I'm gonna pause that discussion real quick and talk about the arrival so that we stay ahead of the game real quick. All right, so we're almost to Berg, which is going to be our halfway point, so to speak, because that is the end. That's the end of the transition for the departure and also the starting gate for the arrival. So let's go to our arrivals page and do the arrival brief. So we're using the tracks 4, and based on the tracks 4, we're going to the well, let's check the weather first. So the weather in Greensboro, let's see, the time is 2354, 23. I'm actually writing it down, guys, so that's why I'm speaking like that. 300 at 9. Visibility is 10 statute miles. Temperature is 3. Ooh, it's gotten colder. -9 is our dew point, and altimeter is 3014. And so the runway in use is going to be 23 left and right, and we're going to use runway 23 left. And we'll use the ILS. All right, so we have that. So we're using 23 left. So we're going to come in via Berg towards the northeast, Murky Chaos tracks, then eastwards to Demons, then continue east to Earl, or to Caville, then left to Gulford from Caville, and then we will make a right base to join the ILS runway 23 left. All right, so looking at the approach right now, ILS 23 left. The MSA is 4100, and our decision height on the ILS is 1089, which is 200 feet on the radio altimeter. And for our ILS frequency, it is 109.3 on 234, and the identifier is India Hotel, India Hotel. All right, so we go to the fixed page and we type in India Hotel, India Hotel, and that's not in a database. All right, cool, no problem. So what we'll have to use now is the runway. So we'll do KGSO 23 left. Okay. Let's see, 23. Let's see if that works. Cool. All right, and then the heading is 234, and we take a radius of 15, and 234 at 7. Let's see what this says. You get the glide slope at 5.4 from the threshold. Cool. So we have 70 there. Beautiful. All right. Let's make a check. Make sure that is making sense. Cool. So we have our range rings around so that we can be at our speeds on point. Great. Cool. So let's go to our performance and we do our landing en route, and we're doing 23 left, landing distance of 9,993, and we have all operational. We do auto brakes 1. Let's see what the weather is. 300 at 9, 383.4, so we can leave that at VRAM 5. And so we have landing distance available of 9,993, and our landing distance required is 7,872. Let's look at our airport charts. So once we land on runway 23 left, let's see, 23 left, and this is 9,000, so we should be able to vacate via Kilo 1. Worst case scenario, we'll exit via Delta, then travel on Kilo to the gate, and we're going to gate 29, which is on the eastern side of that. So we can take Kilo all the way to Juliet 3 and then to parking. All right, so for our approach, we've already discussed that we're using the using the tracks 4 down to 11,000 at Guildford, and then we make a right, and let's look at the ILS as what we will need to make. Made that right, we descend down to 3,000 feet and then make a right to join the localizer for runway 23 left. All right, in the event of a missed approach, we'll climb to 1300, then climb a left turn to 3100 direct to the Greensboro VOR and hold. We continue to climb and hold to 3100 feet. We will then make a left, come back over the airport and attempt the teardrop runway ILS again 2123 left. We probably do a visual since we don't have any inclement weather around. All right, so that is our, we don't have any threats around at the moment. There are a couple of antennas on either side of the runway, but we should be fine even with visual representation as we approach the field. Landing flaps will be flaps 30, and our final speed is going to be 150, so we can set that up. .150, and that's, there we go, and 1093, 1093, and the Greensboro VOR, let's just put that in there, is 116.2. So we can put that on this side, 116.2. So we are 118 from Greensboro. And our top of the set is in 32 nautical miles. So we will now prepare for our descent. The auto brake level 1, and then we can descend to 11,000 feet. So the aircraft will begin its descent shortly. I was supposed to release the passengers, wasn't I? So they got a couple seconds left. Good evening once again from the flight agency captain speaking. We are approximately 5 minutes from our descent into Greensboro. Seatbelt sign is going to come on in just about a minute. Yes, if you're already up and about it, you get back to your seats. The current weather right now in Greensboro, winds coming out of the northwest at about 5 miles an hour. Visibility is pretty clear, and it's a pretty nice night. Few clouds all the way up, and the temperature is 3 degrees. And so it should have a smooth landing. But of course, we ask that you please remain seated once the sign is on for your safety. Flight attendants prepare the aircraft for arrival. Cool, so that's done. All right, so the A350 is what's coming out next week, guys. So next week between Monday and Friday is the arrival of the A350 from Inibills. On the Boeing side, PMDG is just released 2 days ago or yesterday their update sharing that the PMDG's 737-800 my favorite version of the aircraft, has just gone into beta. And Robert is saying that he's not really anticipating it to be a very long process. He says he'll be in a better position within the next 7 to 10 days. I'm thinking that unless they run into some kind of big snag, they would have had enough time to be working on it in the 2020 environment. So having learned quite a bit from the 777-300ER and also the 777-200LR freighter version, that the 200ER should not take that long. However, please be advised that the 200ER actually comes with 3 different variants. So what might throw it off is if something goes wrong for those persons who actually fly the aircraft And this is why I personally like PMDG, because they do pay attention to details. There are some things that are off in terms of the sounds and so on. We're hoping that will be fixed, because I think they did say in some previous stream that Robert was doing, he did some live stream, and he would have said that the sounds were bad. He admitted that for the 777, because they would have lost I guess one of their sound guys or whatnot, but they would have done some rehires, I think it was. Don't quote me on that, guys, but I think it was somebody did come on board, so they're actually addressing the sound issue. So that should be fixed with that. And of course, because there are 3 different variants, they all burn things. They operate differently, and so they have the different beta testers who are also aircraft operators, the airline pilots, who'll be able to let them know if there's anything that's not functioning correctly. But like I said, I'm praying that everything runs smoothly. Within the next 7 to 10 days, you can report that, hey, this is the current projection. They can start doing some showcasing, so we can have the 200 ER, so we can start doing some 200 ER flights. Operators like KLM, American, old Delta flights, since Delta no longer has the 777-200 ER, but we can still do some retro flights where that is concerned. KLM, Cathay Pacific, Austrian, that's another one that's there. You know, Kenya Airways. There are a lot of airlines that use the 777-200 ER. All right, sequence come back on. We just began our descent, and so you would have heard the engines roll back just a little bit there. So we are getting ready for our descent into the Greensboro area. All right, arrival time now is still set at 41. We're now 119 miles from our top of our ending point. 84 from the VOR, so we're getting there, guys. Starting our descent just half an hour into the flight. So it's a really short flight. So it's really exciting times for the sim community, where we have the 777 coming out, the 8050 coming out, and of course we're hoping that the 757 will come out very shortly. We haven't heard anything about the A220. There was somebody working on it. It was supposed to be freeware initially. However, they would have given or made some partnership with Inibills. So Inibills is actually creating that. So of course it's going to be payware now. So we haven't heard anything on that. Hopefully that is going to be coming out soon. It would be nice to have that, especially for JetBlue flights, Delta flights, and some other flights in the European area, Baltic and some other airlines that use the A220. When I looked at the radar for the space that we're flying through on this flight, it's clear. So literally there's no cloud in the sky right now, and it is clear and crisp. That means it's going to be blistering cold. Have no clouds to buffer that heat loss at all. Once we get below 18,000 feet, we will set the altimeter. Let's set the altimeter to 3017, or was it 14? 3014. So once we pass flight level 180, we'll set to local altimeter 3014. Then we'll run the approach checklist. If you haven't already done so, guys, if you are appreciating what we're doing here on Aviator 268, please consider leaving a like. You can also leave a comment on any of the other videos as well. We do appreciate it. If you are interested in chatting it or hanging out with us some more, can't even talk right now, please feel free to join the Discord family. To get the Discord link, just type !Discord and you will get the link that will take you directly to the Discord channel. Of course, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so to the channel. That would help us quite a bit as well. And of course, hit the notification bell. That way you do not miss the next time that we go live on this channel. The plan is to go live for the rest of this week for these flights. It's a series of flights. So we're hoping that we can go live every day this week, but we'll see what happens. Life be lifing sometimes, so we'll try to see how best we can accommodate that. But of course, if you haven't already done so and you like the content, please subscribe. Please consider leaving a like as well. Of course, you can also share this with your friends. And if you are an aviator in the sim world, feel free to join the Discord and know when we are doing the next group flight, so you can also come along. It's also nice to fly with some friends, so you can definitely have that as well. So that is much appreciated. Give me just 1 second, guys. And we are back. Let's see what so there's no ATC on right now. Let's see if there's anybody that will cover GSO, but I think GSO is let's see. Yeah, GSO is within the Atlanta airspace, so we don't need to contact DC Center. And the closest air traffic controller we have there would be Charlotte Approach, but we don't have to talk to them either. So it's pretty much on our own. So KATL-KGSO is 119, so same thing, so it's 19.1. I'm wondering, I think when we get the A350, I'm gonna do a live stream when we get the A350, and all we're gonna do on that flight is literally just sit in the airplane and explore. based on what these guys would have said with the A350, there's so much to learn. There's so many things you could do with the aircraft. So literally, we're gonna just sit in the flight deck. We're gonna go through, just look at the airplane together, just explore the plane, and then we probably do a flight the following stream. There's just so many. I'm just so excited for that aircraft. It's not even funny. The way it's being built is just so extra. And that's just so cool. All right, so we're going to local altimeter of 3014, and that is set. Initial altitude is 11,000 feet. Coming up, we're going to pass Guilford at 11,000. Passing Guilford, we're going to descend down to 4,000 feet, then make a right base for runway 23 left. I could have taken 23 right, but I don't feel like going all the way. Let's see. If you were to take 23 right, then we would have gotten off at Hotel 2, you have to taxi all the way down Delta, then take Kilo. But once we land on 23 left, we'll exit off of Kilo 1, worst case Delta, then taxi Kilo down to the gate. So it's shorter taxi. So that's really the main reason why I chose 23 left versus 23 right. And since there's no ATC to tell me what to do, we're just doing our own thing, which is quite fine. All right, descending through 15,800 down to 11,000. Descending nicely. Once we get to 11,000 feet, I will slow the aircraft to 240, probably 230, and then we'll use some speed brakes to help us get down from 11,000 feet to 3,100. So we have seated passengers in the airplane. Unlike the iFly, we're not able to open the cockpit door, but we do have passengers aboard. I'm still waiting for that update to be done. I don't know when GSX is going to bring that update. Not GSX, when who is it? iFly. Don't know when iFly is going to do that next update. Oh, look at you reading about the Echo Evolution. Well, all right. Yeah, page and turning, boo boo. Let's see what that is. 777-300. Oh, the 200. Yep. Yes, sir. That's what we want. That's what we want. I've never noticed that before. And he's forever on his one screen. Bro, can you breathe? Are you breathing? Guy is so forever drinking the one drink that's not ending. She's just wild chilling. Hello, miss. Cool. So we have one seat available in first class. Is it one? Yeah. Yes, sir. Going to Greensboro. GSO, Mr. Carib Fly. Greensboro, North Kakalaki. All right, so we're getting down to 11,000 feet. Let's ding the cabin real quick. So they'll prepare the aircraft, and we're gonna slow the aircraft down to 240. And then once we cross 240, we're gonna maintain a heading of 055 and then descend down to 3,000 feet. So our aircraft is still kind of, we have this tailwind, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for the aircraft to slow down, so we're going to help it out. Let's keep the heading of 055, and we're going to use speed brakes to slow the aircraft down. Once you get below 250, then we'll continue our descent down to 3,000 feet. We're going to 119.1 and make our announcement. Greensboro traffic, Delta 2496 descending to 4,000. Then make right base on the localizer runway 23 left, Greensboro. Alright, so let's continue on descent now to 4,000. We'll use level change, that way we can maintain 240 knots. And we're going to extend our flaps so we can help the aircraft to have a greater descent rate. It's actually a default scenery, so it's not gonna look fantastic. So don't think it's gonna be that great, but it should be good. So that's the airport back there. And so we are somewhat drifting because of that wind. So once we get down, we'll be able to sort it out. The worst part for me in 2020 or even 24 is the landing. Why is it the worst part? What's happening? Is it landing at night or just landing in general? All right, so let's make a left of 10 degrees just so we can get ourselves properly set up. The frame drops so bad it's hard to land. What are your specs? I don't get, my frames do not drop near as much as it did when I had my RTX 2060, because that only had 6 gigabytes and it was really struggling. But now with my current specs, I'm not gonna say that I don't get a frame drop, but in terms of it being so drastic where it causes me to not be able to fly, I don't get that anymore. My card allows me to fly even into large airports. It will lag depending on what's going on. So if I'm flying online and you have a bunch of people flying there, yeah, the FSTL, the AI traffic is not as taxing either, so it's not that bad. Approach checklist, flight and navigation element is checked. Time switches has been cycled. Altimeter transition level down to 3014 has been cross-checked. Approach checklist is complete. So I can't say that I'm experiencing that right now because I don't. So it's possible that you may have to get another video card that will do that. What's your current specs though, Carabfly? 3.2 RTX 4. That's crazy because you have a very good, that's a decent video card. An RTX 4050. The only issue might be your 6 gigs. You may need to increase that. That's probably what's bottlenecking, because is that a laptop? It might be a laptop. All right, let's make a right base coming out 6,000 feet. And we can slow down now to 230. Okay. Fair, and that's understood because the RTX, the NVIDIA cards are really, really expensive. You fried 2 systems already. Wow. Yeah, it's. But guys. So the thing is, there are people who worth 10K EC. Yeah, we blow through these things. The amount of money that we've spent on on flight sim, this is an addiction, right? Hey, it's something that we like. We go hard for it. So I'm with you on that, huh? But it's people will tell you that what you may need to do is lower your settings. We don't have the money stored up. Well, at least I don't. At least not yet. Don't have the money stored up to buy the most expensive or top of the line stuff. So I went budget as well, and I went all Radeon, you know. So I'm fully AMD. My video card is AMD, my CPU is AMD. So it really, everything is running pretty nicely right now. And like I said, I have the A300 and I can fly the A300. So it's not necessarily an issue. So I don't doubt that when the 350 drops, that I'm not gonna have an issue with flying it. All right, let's go localizer set, and localizer is captured. Speed down to 210. Overshot it there just a little bit, but correcting. All right, so bring the speed back now to 180. And let's go flaps 1. Flaps. Yeah, I don't even run. So there are a couple of times when the system seems to auto reset and it says that I can run a lot of things on ultra. I don't really worry about that either. It's just not so you still get the same sort of nice scenery, nice views. So I just run it pretty simple. In my view, everything is okay. Flaps 2. All right, descending to 3,100 feet, and we have now armed the approach. And we can stow the auto brakes. No, I don't fly X-plane. 2,500. Tell them how to check. I actually opted not to get X-plane at all. I've flown X-plane before. The only reason why I would want to have X-plane is because the 757 is available on X-plane. Hey, what's going on, Nathan? Welcome to the stream, man. All right, flaps 5. All right, speed coming up pretty nicely. Greensboro approach, green power traffic, DAL2496. Approximately 10 miles on the local runway 123 left. We'll call fully established on the ILS. Miami is bad. The JFK, well, I shouldn't say bad. Miami is heavy. JFK is heavy. LA is heavy. Who else? London is heavy. Amsterdam can be heavy sometimes. But I can fly these places depending on the aircraft. So if I fly the A300 in those airports, the frames are going to be lower. If I fly the 737, the fly-by-wire, I'm fine. The iFly, I'm fine. So it just depends on the aircraft, which is why I am really hoping that airspeed, the glide speed is alive. That's why I'm really hoping that the the Anybills people would have really done the whole checks on gear down, flaps 10. I'm really hoping that they definitely paid attention to optimizing the aircraft and make it. They're saying so, and I'm hoping so, because the A300 I can run it, so I am okay with what. If they're doing it similarly, then it's fine because I can run the A300. So I have no doubt that I can run the A350. But their aircraft are just really on the heavy side when it comes to the systems, and that's what I'm hoping that they addressed, so that we don't run into that issue. All right, landing checklist. Landing gear down 3 green, flaps 30, and running green light. Speed brake is armed, green light. Engine start switches is continuous. Lights are on. Just listen to those sounds, guys. Oh, Boris did such an excellent. Bless your heart, Boris. That sound. Ooh. That's just reminding me of what it sounds like coming into. I'm getting excited. Okay, let's land. Let's land this airplane. All right. So landing checklist is complete. Greensboro traffic Delta 2496 is on a 3-mile final runway 23 left. Those engine sounds are really, really nice. Really, really nice. Outside shot for the road. Looking beautiful. All right, let's land this airplane.
1,000.
Check. So we have a nice crosswind there. Yeah, man, Boris did an excellent job. That just reminded me of when I was landing in New York last year summer, and just hearing the engines just spool up. So ooh, guys, I'm getting goosebumps over here. All right, 500 feet, my airplane. Let's land this. What's the landing rate? Give me a landing rate. Give me a landing rate. What do you expect? 500. My airplane. What are we saying? Butter. Speed brake up. 2 in reverse. Reverse green. Decel. And reverse is out. Let's see, we're gonna cut off at Delta. Manual braking. And we just missed Delta a while ago. We just missed Delta. So we go all the way to the end and get to Alpha. All right. I'm using the, I don't remember the name of it. I'll get you all that information in a second. All right, let's make a right here.
Runway 5 right.
Give me just a minute, guys. I will get to those in just a minute. All right, let's clean up the aircraft. Greensboro traffic to 2496 cleared of, or 23 left. All right, we make a right here on Kilo and cross runway. What is that? Cross runway 332. One thing I don't understand with these airports, they're so dark.
Approaching 14. Crossing 14.
Big old thing in the middle of the taxiway. Alright, so we are clear of runway 14, so we can turn off our landing lights and we can start our APU. See, the landing was a little bit on the lower bit rate, just like when I stream. I hate when that happens every time. Was it really? I don't. How was the landing for you, Gel? All right, let's see what my landing rate was. My landing rate was minus 178, guys. Haha, minus 178. That was nice and smooth. All right, MPU is started, and let's request our gate. We're going to. Okay. I guess we can do gate 20. Oh wait, no. Okay, hold on. Let's change that. Change facility. Privates. Okay, yeah, it's 20. That's weird. Oh, okay, cool. That's like I floated. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at the. Nah, I didn't float too much. Let's see. Nah, I didn't. I didn't float that much. I can't. I was hoping. Let me see if I can. No, I'm not gonna be able to show it to you. But on Volanta, I landed before the first taxiway. So I landed around, let's see. I landed in between here. So I didn't float that much. I landed before Kilo 5. So it wasn't that of a float. That's when I struggle to stay below my 300 because I only have a attack. Okay. Yeah, Volanta. I just looked at Volanta a while ago. I landed before. It has me landing just before Kilo 5. So it wasn't such a major float. I need to see. JL, what you say? You don't trust me, man? Come on. All right, so landed at 50, what is that? Probably 55 minutes. Okay. Oh, Boris did such a good job with that, man. Let's see where we are. So we're coming out to J2, which is that gate. We're gonna be on the other side. Wait, where is 20? Let's see. Let's go back to here. All right, so J20 is on the inside, so I should have taken that. All right, no problem. Let's see what happens. We would have been at J29, which is on the end here, but it's not. The GSX profile isn't showing that And GSX has all sorts of things going on here. All right, cool. It is what it is. So we're gonna go in on the inside over here. You'd ask the question, Carib Sky, when I'm flying back into the Caribbean. I don't know. We can set up a flight. My struggle is that my afternoons are tied up. So I try to fly where I could put, you know, or have some sort of daylight flying, because again, flying at night, not much to see. So unless I'm gonna do an early in the day flight, probably on Friday, I might do an earlier stream since I'll be off on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, it's gonna be mostly flights that are outside of the Caribbean. All right, so we're coming to the gate right now. We're gonna make this right here. Follow the line in. Yeah, man. So you're on the Discord, so you would see when I post on. But I think Friday is gonna be the better time in terms of when I'll be able to, because that's gonna be a daylight flight. I can do that during the day, so we can definitely travel Friday, this week Friday, if you are available. So we can set some up on the Discord. And brakes are set. All right. We have APU on the buses, and we can go engine off. That wasn't a very good parking. Okay. I may do a long haul tonight as well. I'm not sure where yet, but I may do a long haul. I may actually do a let's see. I may do an A380 flight. Not sure on A or 777. The A380 is in South Africa, and my 777 is somewhere. I need to take that out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining the stream this evening. It was a beautiful flight into Greensboro, celebrating 24 years with Delta Virtual. As a matter of fact, I'm at my 20th year with Delta Virtual, and so it is so great to be able to do this flight with and for them, so that we can celebrate this milestone. Next year is their big 2-5, and of course we'll be able to do the same with them. Wait a minute, you can actually fly on it. Yeah, I can fly the A380. I've done a guys, his system is struggling. I don't know why. Which are you using the 8K or using the 4K, Miguel? And to answer the question that you asked as well, JL, I am using the Thrustmaster throttles, not the expensive one. I have to check it out and then let you know. I'll let you know. Message me on Discord and I'll send you the link. The 8K for me is, I think it wasn't the best 4K really, but still is really on landings or takeoffs struggles. I'm not sure why. I don't have that issue with the A380 at all. It works fine on the system. Again, I think what happens, It probably might be the airports that you're at. Maybe. Try tweaking the settings some more. I don't even, do you have buildings all the way up? Do you have buildings, the scenery, the settings for that as well? Check that and see if that helps, because I'm not sure why, but I have no issues with the A380. I need your autopilot settings. Shoot them as, yeah. Just send me a message in Discord. We can talk about that. Jail. Yeah, I'm just going to fly at Leicester Airport. The only thing else I can tell you is just try tweaking, because I don't have that channel. It could be that your system is bottlenecking with the scenery and the system, because remember, the fly-by-wire, even though it's freeware, those guys did a fantastic job. Does the A320neo work good for you? The set, you use vPilot for the traffic, because you can also set that way you don't have that many for your traffic as well. So you can limit that. So that should also help with your frame rates. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me here on the Aviator 268. I really appreciate you guys for joining this flight over to Greensboro. I do hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Stay tuned for the next one. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Consider leaving a like and also sharing this. It will really do well for the channel. Once you subscribe, also hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next time that we post another live. Of course, you can join the Discord. There too you'll find information. Until the very next time, please make sure you take care of yourselves and have a good night. See ya.